Hello friends and welcome to our Changing Views. Sorry we missed a week, had a lot going on, and my sister's been away, so with no one mithering us we thought we'd have a week off. Late nights, no one calling, no one chatting, eat ice cream when we want to, but we won't mention any of this because she has a habit of watching. So, update, models. Now, first of all, let me say that I'm going to fold this down because I need this open for something, but I'm not endorsing any type of laptop. This is not a paid promotion. It just happens to be my laptop and it just happens to have a lit up symbol on the outside. But we'll go away from that. Update, model. We've been working on the model of the Narrowboat, as you know. We haven't brought it out last week because we had a bit of a setback with it in the sense that I got the measurements of it wrong, and I wanted to stop before we went on too far and have to redo everything because it's quite an in-depth thing, and we are trying to build it up. So the model is still on course, and I'm going to bring an update, hopefully not before the end of the week, so we'll catch up with our vlogs. But chance would have it, these videos and the like, if you've not done any kind of vlogging, you don't know the things that go on behind the scenes. We're lucky enough to know the Northern Narrowboat, who is
Helen and John, I think.
Helen, and we think it's John. Sorry John, but Helen's at the front all the time. I mean, you can't forget Helen, but John, that poor guy, following behind. I say following behind because he's always steering behind her, so we know them. They've done a lot of this before, and what you don't know is what goes on behind the scenes. You've got Instagram to take care of. You've got Facebook to take care of. If you're doing Twitter, you've got to take care of. Facebook is a full-time job on its own. I mean, Facebook, they can sometimes not be very helpful, and all these integrations, they should all work seamlessly, but they don't. And you can pay for integration. You can pay companies to integrate them all, but when you're starting up like us and you don't have an income, everything's a cost. I mean, it's like I said a couple of weeks ago, we got a new microphone, courtesy of advisement from David from Crusing the Car. Yeah, thank you. And we got it from a charity shop. We were lucky, but I mean, between lights, cameras and action, batteries, between microphones, lights, cameras, chargers. And we've got so many chargers now, we had to label them so we know what batteries were from what item and which charger it goes into. That's just the physical side of it. And then you got all the software and the social side of it. It can get a little bit carried away with itself. So the good thing about the model is it was a slow down. But then again, Mandy, my sister, who you will have the pleasure of meeting sometime, I'm sure, she does Doll's House miniatures, and
she's going to start again.
Yeah, she's started again. She's done it for a while. And I kind of got caught up in it because we owned a model shop at one time, and we were giving her some advice on some things, and we joined some groups with her. Well, when we came to a decision we needed a narrowboat, I said, "Hey, let's make a model narrowboat." It was okay for us because we had this model experience, but we didn't really have Doll's House experience. Kelly's never had a Doll's House. I don't have a Doll's House.
I have had a Wendy house my granddad made.
Well, you did have a Doll's House, but we've not had one scale recently.
Yeah.
And it's 1/12 scale or 1:12 scale, which is what the Narrowboat model is going to be. So I thought, well, we need to gen up on Doll's Houses. So I joined a great Facebook group. I'll put it down below. I think it's called Doll's Houses made from Doll's House Miniatures made from everyday items, I think it's called. Oh, that's one of our batteries who's just died. But we did. Sorry, we have some different cameras set up underneath. We got the main camera which we talked to, but we have some different cameras to see what different things will work for us in different ways. Cell phones, etc., etc. So back to what I was saying. we've joined this group as well, Doll's House Miniatures, to get some ideas. So it's going to be a bit of a laid-back thing. You know, we've got everything set up now. Let's have a laid-back experience. My sister's gone away. We're going to make this model. It's going to be nice and calm. And then, did I go away somewhere? What happened? Why wasn't I here? Was it when went to the hospital?
That was a while ago, though.
No, when you come up with your fabulous idea.
Oh, yeah, it was actually.
So you see, when I had the shingles, you know, I had the shingles a couple of weeks ago. I had to go to the hospital emergency room. I was advised to go to the hospital emergency room by the doctor. And Kelly was here on her own, twiddling her thumbs, thinking about narrowboats and these vlogs and different things and how we're going to do things, etc., etc. And came up with an absolutely marvellous idea. And what was that idea, Kelly? Would you like to tell them what it is?
Podcasting.
Podcasting. What about podcasting?
Well, I think it's floating our boat does podcasts as well as vlogs.
Yeah, I mean, a few of them, the vloggers have a podcasting. We know that what was it?
Floating Our Boat.
Floating Our Boat. Fran and Mitch. They have a very popular one, and they're very. We've seen them do it online. They're naturals at it. They're pretty good. I'm not sure that Northern Narrowboat, Helen and John are starting one or have got one. They're very socially involved, so I can't see that they wouldn't have one. Anyway, Kelly came up with this idea. More of a case of she'd do podcasting, and it was like, wow, yeah, okay, we could do podcasting.
That was on my iPad.
And Kelly got it going on her iPad and started looking into it. And I kind of left her to it. We've got enough going on that this was Kelly's little idea. And then a few weeks, I don't know, a week later, maybe a few weeks later, David from Cruising the Cup, the godfather of all vlogging, cruising vlogs. Sorry everyone else, but David, I think, has got to be crowned the king. I think we all admire him. He has now gone off cruising and is doing interest vlogs about the canals and the people on the canals and whatnot. And one of them was, I wish I knew his name. I'll put it down below. It's coming across in a second. He has I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. No, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. But he does have a podcast channel. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he has a podcast channel. And it's called Still Waters, which hopefully has gone...
Nighttime on Still Waters.
Is it yes, Nighttime on Still Waters. Well done. And it's going to go across here anyway. And I'll put the link in our feed below. And we went to it and listened to it. And it is absolutely amazing. I don't know his name, unfortunately, but he is to podcasting, in my opinion, what David is to vlogging. I mean, David has come from the TV side of things. I don't know if this guy's come from the radio side of things, but he sounds as though he could just run a radio program. And absolutely loved it. So now we're kind of getting more into, we're like, oh, well, should we do podcasting? Should we do a podcast channel? We've got everything else channel. We've got our changing views on Facebook, our changing views on Instagram, our changing views on Twitter. You name it, it's out there. So, should we have a podcast? Well, we decided yes, we should. And we looked at what Kelly had set up. And we looked at what we could have going. And if you remember from my background, when I was in the Baptist church, I worked on the sound and audio and video. So that's why we try and keep a good sound quality on these videos, because I do know a little bit about sound. Well, we started looking into podcasting. And once again, it's one of these things that gets totally carried away with itself. I mean, first thought was, well, we need a microphone. So I have a microphone on my computer, quite a big one. Computer. And we sorry Mandy, computer. And we set it up, and we give it a try, and it worked, but it wasn't great sound quality. and we tweaked it, and then we found out, as usual, me being a tight ass, I only spent $10 on it, which is about equivalent to about £7.50. So, okay, we need a better microphone. I know microphones, this is not one. So then we looked at a condenser microphone. But a condenser microphone needs to go through a deck. So then we looked at a small sound deck. Well, we're not flushed and we're kind of overstretched with this vlogging. So, well, let's look at this. So we played around with it and we found out the microphone will work in a certain position, so that was okay. But I did buy for this and our YouTube shorts and Kelly's little vlogging adventure. Oh, second battery's just ready to go. I'm watching them fade. We did buy a little lapel mic. So Kelly said, try this. Why don't you try this? And as usual, what happened? I didn't try it. So, long story short, we kind of then moved on to the software side of it. And we looked online. There's a lot of vlogs, a lot of YouTube channels like yourself. We'll go on YouTube. And a lot of them are using Audacity. Well, I've used Audacity in the sound, in the church for the sound. So we tried Audacity and it's good. And I was glad to read when I downloaded it that the new update makes it a lot simpler for use. Because it was rather, it's more for a sound engineer. But the things it does is amazing, but it's more for a sound engineer. So they made it simpler, and we was like, wow, this will do it. And we downloaded it, and we put it on the computer, and it's free. It's open source. Oh, it was difficult, and we got to a point where we nearly give up. I got to be honest. And then, as I'm working on the vlogs and this, I thought, hang on a minute. What we use on the compute, the Apple Mac, we use iMovie, as a lot of people do. iMovie for the setting up of the vlogs, etc. Which takes time. It can take an hour, 2 hours to put a vlog together on the iMovie. It can take an hour for it to then save it as a file to the computer, and then it can take an hour to save that up to the system. So it's all pretty long-winded. But while I'm doing it, I'm looking at it thinking, well, hang on a minute, why can I not just save music on this? Well, I can in a sense, but it wasn't great. So hang on a minute. We have another one on here called Garage Mix, Garage something. Garage, I don't know what it's called now, Garage something or other. Let me just unlock myself, and GarageBand. And we went into it, and it works absolutely outstanding, and it's free. So with this, we tried it on the laptop, and it worked just as well. And we tried it with Kelly's little mic and found this is a good quality. This is acceptable quality for a podcast that's starting. But then it didn't stop there. Like everything, it just ran away with itself. You got the microphone, you've got the software, you've then got the hosting company. We had to go looking for a hosting company that we could afford. And you need a website for it. Well, luckily the hosting company we selected has a website. And today we got caught up. We're doing these podcasts late because, well, we couldn't find any music because all music's copyrighted. Even the short section of it, 10 seconds of it. When you get someone on YouTube putting short bits in, or under 30 seconds, under 10, no, it's from that first second, it's copyrighted. So we found all this out, and it's got, as usual, it's carried away itself. But we're here today and proud to say that we now have a podcast for our changing views. Thanks to this lady, my dear wife. And I'm going to put the link underneath, but it's on feeds.captivate.fm. Not an endorsement, because we're new to this, so we can't recommend anyone. This is just where ours are. And it's our changing views. Now, you can find it on Google. You should be able to find it on Google. You should be able to find it on Apple. You should be able to find it on all the different podcast feeds, because it is fed out. We haven't posted the first one yet. We were actually going to film it while we were here. But we needed a script for this, and it was getting very, very in depth. So we decided to do this update. I'm going to probably film the first one so you can see it, and it's our Changing Views, the podcast. There's not a lot else I can say. We've tried to find some music for it, but it's an absolute nightmare trying to find royalty free or one payment or multi payments or subscriptions. I think that Heidi, is it Heidi on the
it's
the Narrowboat Pirate? If you don't
Narrowboat.
watch the Pirate Narrowboat, you got to watch Heidi.
Uncut.
We love all of that. We watch as many vlogs as you hopefully do. The Mindful Narrowboat with Vanessa is it's our favourite go-to at tea time. We can just unwind while we're watching tea. The Northern Narrowboat,
they're funny.
Helen just says it as it is. God help you.
I can't understand her half the time because she speaks too strong.
Kelly can't understand her because she's from Manchester. Well, I'm from Manchester, so I'm from Oldham, Manchester. I got no problem. Floating Our Boat, Fran and Mitch, we watched them. They're great.
Northern, I think. No, they're southern.
I think they're southern, actually.
I think they're southern.
David, we used to watch from the start.
Yeah, I don't know where David's
the last one we watch is Heidi on the Pirate Narrowboat.
Yeah.
And just like Helen on the Northern Narrowboat, she's from Manchester and she says it like it is.
I can understand her.
But along with the straight talking comes a little bit of innuendo, double entendre,
Entertainment.
what you would call British humour. Now, if you don't, British humour, it's like
Crude.
No, it's not crude. It's double meaning. Like if you ever watched, if you've ever watched the Grace Brothers, Are You Being Served? Mrs. Slocum, when she says, "I've got to get home. My pussy's been out all night." Well, to English, it's double entendre. Pussy's got double meaning, and it's a bit of a giggle. The American market doesn't necessarily understand it because they don't know that double entendre thing. Well, Heidi on the Pirate Narrowboat, yes, if she's called, she'll say what parts are stiff and what's not, what parts are stood up and what's not. And but you've got to laugh when it comes to her music, and that's the link in here because we're talking about music, because she has got round the copyright law by writing her own music. She's wrote a couple of small ditties. She has a music background. She's wrote a couple of small ditties and she's put them on YouTube, and they are really, really good. And so much so, I think she's published them now on Amazon or something or somewhere because people are asking for them, and I can see why, because they're really good. But with Heidi being Heidi, and she's on an airboat. Our two popular ones, I will tell you what they are, but I have to be very careful with my pronunciation.
Well, I'll say it.
No, I'll say it because you've got to be very careful. The first one is Flow Job. That's flow with an F. Now, you can think of anything else that rhymes with flow and go from there. So our first one is Flow Job. And the second one, well, you get ripples on a narrowboat. So the second one is Stiff. Oh, there's another battery going. It's the same one gone twice. The other one is Stiff Ripples. So she has music called Flow Job with an F and Stiff Ripples with an S.
Many more to come.
Ripples with an R, I should say. Stiff Ripples. So Flow Job and Stiff Ripples. And I'll leave you with all the rhyming. What rhymes with ripples? But we laugh. I mean, it's great. But she has got around that music thing. And I thought tonight, I mean, I have a lot of ukuleles. We've got a banjo, we've got a guitar, we've got a ukulele.
I've got a thingy one.
Yeah, kind of got a guitarelle, I think it's called. Because we've always wanted to learn music, but the lifestyle we've been living is not somewhere you can learn music. It was best of intentions, but we never got to it. And that's why we're buying a narrowboat. So stick around. We are buying a narrowboat. We will end up on a narrowboat. And it's times like this when you're looking for music that you think, I wish I'd have kept up with this. But tonight I pulled it and I thought, well, hang on a minute, I know some of the chords I practice sound rather musical, so I practiced one of them a little bit. And that's going to be one of the intros to our podcast. It's going to be me playing a few chords on the ukulele, and that way we don't have to pay royalty.
Until I get into it, then we'll take it in turns.
Yeah, we'll take it in turns. But that's where we've been. That's what we've been up to. We're still both here. Still both here. Still both working. Still both working towards this dream. We're probably up to about 1,005 on our money towards our £57,000 narrowboat. So we're up to about 1,005, I think. Don't write us off. We're going to be there. A couple of friends have asked us to set up a GoFundMe, which I'll stick the link in just for the hell of it, in case any millionaires are watching and want to help us get our dream of a narrowboat. There's a link down there. And I know most of you have gone. The ones that are still here, you're very dedicated. Most people drop off about, I think our record is about 5 minutes.
Yeah, 8 to 10
because
minutes.
YouTube feeds you a lot. I mean, a lot of people hang on to the mid 3/4 of the way. Some people end on to the end, but you can actually watch the video with the fall off rate. It's amazing when you're into it all. It can actually get a little bit compulsive. You end up hovering every minute of every day, eating your tea, watching how many views have we had now, how many likes have we got, by the way, we're not getting very many likes. Hit the bell, subscribe first, because we're not going up on our followers. We've got all these people following, watching. No one will follow, share, follow, subscribe, bell, share, follow, subscribe, share, follow, bell, subscribe. All of these, you know what I mean? Well, that's annoying, isn't it? I wonder why it's doing that.
What?
It's now in and ended itself. One of the cameras had a little... Oh, it's having a little tantrum. The camera's having a little tantrum, I think. Well, with that, I think it's probably time for us all to have a tantrum.
Maybe it's our cue.
Yeah, it's our cue to say goodbye. So, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from her. So, we're going to have to practice that.
Well, that's a takeoff from your sister.
Yeah, but that's a takeoff from someone else, you know.
Yeah, the two brothers.
No, it's not. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on Our Changing Views, and we hope to see you again in our next
Vlog.
Bye now.